Hello YouTube, this is a walk and talk video. I know a lot of my videos are walk and talks, but I'm making this overtly a walk and talk because I want to talk about walking and talking and thinking. So I opened this, I rebranded one of my other channels as a walk and talk channel, the Conference of the Birds, and I'll put a link below if anybody doesn't know about it. And I'm collecting videos, not just my own walk and talks, I'm just putting a few of those on there, but from other people, you know, so Slaxer, Barklord, Napalm, Yamikaiba, Gary, who else? Maybe that's it. Oh, Earl, of course, Black Messenger 7. I'm collecting their videos on it because I know they do walk and talks, but there may be other people as well, and I'll just add them as I go on. But yeah, I mean, what I'm thinking of here is because I'm collecting these videos because I like them. I like walk and talks. I think it's an interesting form, but I'm also interested in it conceptually, kind of. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think into it really. And you know, if I was a mind to write anything, and I'm not, unfortunately, I should be writing because I'm an academic and that's what we're supposed to do. But I haven't been able to put finger to keyboard for ages. So, but if I was going to write anything, I would probably be writing something about the poetics of walking. In fact, I think that would be a great title for a book, The Poetics of Walking, or at least an essay. And I'd like to be able to, if I couldn't write it, I'd at least like to read it. So if you're capable of writing something like that, please do and let me know and I'll read it. But yeah, it would be something like Gaston Bachelard's writings. I don't know if you know Gaston Bachelard. He's a really beautiful writer, French writer. You know, he writes in French, but all his stuff's available in English. I think he's probably dead now, or at least very, very old. But all his writings is quite old now. Probably the most famous book is Poetics of Space. But he also wrote a bunch of other stuff. He wrote a series of 4 books about the elements, you know, psychoanalysis of fire, air and dreams, water and dreams. Should be something else anyway. But he also wrote, as I say, Poetics of Space, and he also wrote one called Poetics of Reverie. And these are very particular kinds of writing. I mean, he was writing prior to cognitive neuroscience, or the major discoveries in cognitive neuroscience, and certainly a long time before cognitive linguistics, conceptual metaphor theory, cognitive poetics, any of that kind of empirical, scientifically based understandings of the relationships between language and imagination and thought and the brain and those kind of things. I think if he was writing now, he'd probably include those things in the frame, but as I say, he was writing before that. But what his books are, something like Poetics of Space, is they are kind of excavations about how our brains, how our minds, how our imaginations, as he would put it, used ideas of things like space. And he was talking about domestic space particularly, you know, so the interior of cupboards, the space under the stairs, these kind of spaces. And how he does it, basically, he looks through bits of writing, usually French poetry. Mallarmé May features quite a bit, some of his stuff. He looks at pieces of writing and how poets and writers use the ideas of space, domestic spaces, and through that analysis, and it's a really poetic and beautiful analysis, it's not particularly difficult, he kind of pulls out how these things are working in our imagination. And the same with something like water. I'm here by the canal, you know, in Water and Dreams, which is another really great book of his. You know, he talks about how water features, you know, because because our embodied experience is surrounded by this stuff, isn't it? Morning. Sorry, this boat, not lovely. Willow. Because our experience is completely embodied, you know, and it's of the world. You know, we were constantly interacting with things like water, like the water of this canal, and like the space that I'm walking through right now, and the space that's bounded by the edge of the canal and by the hedge, or by the interior spaces, and by those other things I mentioned, by air, then the wind blowing across me, or by fire, which occasionally come across. You know, so we are completely enmeshed in all these kind of elemental experiences, embodied experiences, sensorially engaged experiences. And what Bachelard does is he's basically saying these things are what form our imagination, because we use these experiences to talk about other things. And this is again what the basic tenets of cognitive linguistics and conceptual metaphor theory and all those kind of things, cognitive neuroscience, informed ideas talk about too, that we use these embodied experiences in order to be able to think about anything, you know, because our brains evolved in this environment. So this experience, this experience of water here, which is completely embodied, is also, my experience of that allows me to think about other things that flow, like the flow of words that come out of a person's mouth, or the flow of a piece of music, or a psychological state of being in flow, or the flow of riding a bike or something like that. There's certain kinds of flows, but all that understanding of flow is taken from an embodied experience like the flow of water. So he's doing that basically. It's really great stuff. But I would like to do, sorry, long preamble to bring us back to the beginning. And a word like preamble is significant. What I would love to be able to do is to write something like that about walking, a poetics of walking. So we'd take words like preamble, or ramble, or jaunt, or these ideas that come up in our talking and our thinking and our walking, and kind of unpack that, unpack the as I said, how the imagination is using walking, how the brain and mind is using walking, this ambulatory process where the world just slides past you, kind of balloons at the corner of your eye and then moves past you, and the world slips under your feet as your legs pull it towards you by reaching out with your foot. Now those are completely sensory experiences, colonized and structure and inform the imagination and thought. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Poetics of walking. Yes. I might do it one day.